Hey everyone, and thank you so much for checking out my production process. Producing a prototype trial run or sample of your business is what we are looking for in this particular resource. This is part of the Real Business Project, where students are going to take a business idea that they come up with in class, turn it into reality, and then showcase it in a business fair later on. Usually takes about 5 to 6 weeks, with 2 weeks of kind of intense focus on it, and then another 3 to 4 weeks of just kind of letting it run in the background, checking in on it every once in a while. But this activity is something that you would do in that earlier stage where we're trying to get students to really focus on how do they make their idea a reality. A lot of students will kind of stagnate on this particular step because they have a great idea. It's wonderful in theory. And then when it comes to actually making it, they either don't have the skills, they don't have the resources, they don't know how to do it. And this activity is usually what bridges that gap. It forces students to think about the recipe for their business. What ingredients do they need? What equipment do they need? And what are the steps to actually producing it? And if they break it down into those small, minute steps, it often is enough for them to bridge that gap, or whatever you want to call it, that was holding them back, to go from idea to actually producing something real. So in this activity, students are first going to talk about what they need. So equipment, materials, and then steps. So they'll create an actual step-by-step process of how they do this. And we really want to think about it from the perspective of someone who has no clue about the business, and say you were handing the reins over to them, or you were saying, I want you to go do this. In the real business, it's really helpful to have these processes written down so that when you do eventually want to outsource or hire, they're in place and you can just hand them over to someone else. The last part then is to show off your business. So what do you create? What do you do? So for a product, it could be creating a sample of it and bring it into class, or they can create samples and showcase what it is via pictures or video or some other creative means. They don't have to be limited to just those two. For a service, on the other hand, a little bit more challenging, a little bit more creativity needed. I think videos of them doing a trial run are probably the most effective, but they can, of course, get live demonstrations in class. They can do something else that showcases what they do. There's really no limit to what the creativity could be here if they're willing to engage with that. If you have any questions for me, please do send me an email, thefieducator@gmail.com. I'd love to answer those for you, but thanks for stopping by and checking it out.